So as we look for our equations to get harder, it's more important that we focus on bed mass to make sure that we're building up and breaking down the process right. So let's just remind ourselves, bed mass, brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition and subtraction, where division and multiplication are kind of grouped together and addition and subtraction are kind of grouped together. So when we're thinking about breaking it down, we're going to be going in the reverse order. So first of all, we work out how was it built up in the order of bed mass, and then we come back and think how was it broken down. So let's do some examples, and they're going to get progressively harder. So 2x plus 12 on 9 is equal to 2 is our first one. Now the key thing with this one is we have to understand that when it's on the top line of a fraction, these brackets here are implied. Because you look at it and you say, well, addition first, so it's 12. But that's not right, because the 12 is inside the brackets. So brackets are implied, which means that we're going to be dividing by 9 first. That's our first thing that we have to do to break it down. So let's, so if we're building it up by bed mass, we start with x. We look inside the bracket. What's the first thing we do to x? We multiply it by 2. Then because we're inside the brackets, we keep going on this top line and we add 12. And then finally, once we've done everything inside the brackets, we can now move outside the brackets, so we're dividing by 9. So then the reverse will be multiplying by 9, subtracting 12, dividing by 2, and that's going to give us x. So if I have 2x plus 12 on 9 equals 2, I'm going to put my brackets in, even though I don't need them, they're implied, so it's going to be useful. First thing we do is we come down here is we multiply by 9. So it's 2x plus 12 over 9 times by 9 equals 2 by 9. I keep everything the same. So those 9's cancel, so I get 2x plus 12 equals 18. Now I can subtract 12 because I don't need the brackets anymore, so it's plus 12 take 12 is equal to 18 take 12. Those 12's cancel, so I get 2x equals 6, and now I'm ready to divide by 2 to give me my answer, not negative 2. We're just dividing by positive 2, cancel out the 2's as a common factor, so x is equal to 3. Okay. Now what I've got here is a set of questions where we've given you the answers as well to make sure that you can get it right as you go through, but it's really important that you show your process. You don't just write the answer. So I need to see this part of the process, you build it up, break it down, and I need to see that carried out to find the answer that is given there. Okay, the next one, so go through and complete those questions and then we'll move on. So our next example, 5x take 9 on 12 take 3 equals 0. Okay, again our brackets are implied around the 5x take 9 because it's on the top line of a denominator. Okay, so if we think about bed mass and how this is built up, first of all we have x, then we look inside the brackets and we do multiplication first by bed mass. Then I'm going to subtract 9, and now once I get outside the brackets I'm going to divide by 12, and then once I've done all of that, I've done my division, now I can look outside my brackets and do my subtraction. So I'm going to take 3. So to reverse this, I'm going to add 3, I'm going to multiply by 12, I'm going to add 9, I'm going to divide by 5, and that's going to give me x. This is the reverse process. So doing this, so 5x take 9 on 12 take 3 equals 0. So first thing we do is we add 3. So 5x take 9, and I'm going to include the brackets here, even though they're not needed, because it's implied. So it's take 3 plus 3 is equal to 0 plus 3. So the 3's there cancel. So it's 5x take 9 on 12 is equal to 3, and now we're multiplying both sides by 12. So we're keeping those brackets there. So the 12's cancel. Now, because I've got rid of everything outside my brackets, I'm ready for inside the bracket, so I don't need brackets anymore. So 5x take 9 is equal to 36. So now I'm going to add 9. So the 9's there are going to cancel, so it's going to be 5x is equal to 45. Divide both sides by 5. And then final answer is x is equal to 9. Okay, so now pause the video and go through and complete these questions. Again, the process is the important thing. So you should be showing your blocks building up and breaking down, and then working it through to get the answer. Pause the video now. Okay, the next example that we're going to do is 2 outside of 3x plus 1 all over 4 is equal to 8. So, if we're building up with x, we need to first look inside the bracket. So what's the first thing well, there's actually two sets of brackets, because you see there's brackets around this 3x plus 1 because it's on the top line of a fraction. And then there's brackets around all of this fraction. So the first thing I do, look inside the innermost brackets. X times by 3 plus 1, multiplication becomes before addition. And then I can go outside those brackets and divide by 4. And then I can go outside the second lot of brackets and I'm multiplying by 2. So to undo this, I'm going to divide by 2, I'm going to multiply by 4, I'm going to take 1, divide by 3, and that is going to give me x. Okay, so 2 outside of 3x plus 1 in brackets all over 4 is equal to 8. Okay, first thing we do, we divide by 2, divide both sides by 2. So, you might say, well, how do I show that? Well, I'm going to put all of this thing over 2, and because I've got a common factor, I'm multiplying 2 by this. 2 is a factor of this product here, so I can cancel it with the 2 there, and it's going to give me 8 over 2, which we'll get is 4. So we have 3x plus 1 in brackets over 4 equals 4, and the next thing we do is we multiply by 4. Now that's going to cancel out that, so we're going to get 3x plus 1 is equal to 16. So the next thing we do is take 1 from both sides. So 3x, that's going to cancel the 1's there, is equal to 15. Divide both sides by 3, that cancels the 3's there. So x is equal to 5. Okay, now my next example is 2 outside of 3x plus 5 plus 2 is equal to minus 12. Just if you couldn't see the questions before, these are the questions here and with the answers, so make sure you go through and complete those. Okay, so moving on with our next example, by bed mass, we first look inside the bracket, so x is being multiplied by 3, then we're adding 5. Now, outside the bracket, we're multiplying by 2 first, because multiplication comes before addition, then we're adding 2. So to undo this, I'm going to have to start by taking 2, then divide by 2, take 5, and then divide by 3, and that's going to give me x. So doing this, if I have 2 outside of 3x plus 5 plus 2 equals minus 12, first thing I'm going to do is subtract 2. I'm going to cancel the 2's there, so we get 2, 3x plus 5 is equal to minus 14. Then we're dividing both sides by 2. So I can cancel my 2's there, so we get 3x plus 5 is equal to minus 7. Then we're going to subtract 5, so it's going to be minus 7 take 5. The 5's cancel there, so 3x is equal to minus 12, and then we're dividing both sides by 3. So the 3's cancel there, and so x is equal to minus 4. Okay. Here we have 6 more equations that you need to go through and complete. Remember, the process to get the answer is important, not just the answer. So I should be seeing all these processes in your book. And then our final one, and it's going to get a little harder, is going to be 3 outside of 2x plus 3 plus 30 on 9 is equal to 1. Okay, so now I can put brackets around all of this top line, it's implied that that top line has to be done first. So we've got two sets of brackets. So when we're looking at how this is built up, we look at the innermost bracket, so x multiplied by 2 plus 3, multiplication before addition. Then with this bracket, we then multiply by 3 and add 30, multiplication before addition. Then to all of that, we're now outside the bracket, so we divide by 9. So to work back to get x, I'm going to multiply by 9, I'm going to take 30, I'm going to divide by 3, I'm going to take 3, I'm going to divide by 2, and I'm going to get x. So, alright, this is going to take a little while, but we can get there. So 3 outside of 2x plus 3 plus 30 all over 9 is equal to 1. So brackets around the top line. First thing we do is we multiply by 9. Times 9 there and there. So I don't need the brackets around the top line anymore because I got rid of the denominator. So it's just 3 outside of 2x plus 3 plus 30 is equal to 9, and we're going to take 30 from both sides. So the 30s are going to cancel there, and it's going to be 3 outside of 2x plus 3 is equal to minus 21. And so then we divide both sides by 3. So I'm going to cancel the 3's there, and I'm going to get 2x plus 3 is equal to minus 7. Then I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So the 3's cancel there, so 2x is equal to minus 10, and I'm going to divide by 2. So cancel those, so x is equal to minus 5. Now these following 4 problems are really going to test your understanding of how we do equation solving and what it's all, I suppose, about. So you've got to write an equation where you're going to need to subtract 4, then divide by 2 to get the answer, then add 6 and multiply by 5, and then the other ones get a little harder. Make sure you use your brackets when you need to. But so these will be on the Edpuzzle video, so you can go through and they'll give you a clue to make sure that it's actually right.